Check, check. Whoa, there we are. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Wow, audio issues, audio issues. I thought the mic was working earlier. I don't know, maybe I bumped it or something or whatever. But anyway, welcome back to the news. 3 different topics today, of course, privacy, security, and business. Only a couple articles today. Some interesting ones though, so it'll be kind of fascinating. So I do actually have 2 kitties. I got the other one sitting right here. Look at that, I got a sleeping cat. Yeah, you. But greetings, everybody. How are you? Let's see where we're at. There we are. It's close enough. I'm blocking my Friday show, but that's all right. That'll work. Actually, I want to go a little bit up. There we go. That's better. So welcome. Let's go and jump on over to the comments before we get started here. Lots of comments. There's some discussion going on about somebody got their computer fixed up, working. That's pretty cool. So I'm not going to read all of those. Let's see. Herman's pushing pause. Let's see. There's some worky stuff. Somebody's like, yeah, we could go be self-employed. There you go. Yeah, that's what I kind of do. I got sick of the whole corporate game and all the other stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Ooh, Paper Bag Man's making some ramen. There you go. Ramen's not too shabby. Can't risk taking a loan to start a business. Bootstrap your business. Bootstrap your business. That means that you start with what you got. You're not throwing tons and tons in advertising and other stuff, but you do what's called guerrilla marketing. Pick up a book by, I think it's Jay Conrad or something Jay Conrad. Whatever it is, it's called guerrilla marketing. Read through that. That's a great way to get your marketing done with very low costs. Also read, I forget the name of this other book and the author, but it's something like No BS Marketing or something. Actually, the guy, one of the co-founders of Vimeo actually told me to read that book. I was talking to him. He actually lives in my town here. There's just a bunch of other things to do. And then, of course, start with what you have. You don't have to get out a big business loan. You don't have to go rent an office building. And depending on what you're doing, of course. You know, if you're doing like an auto shop, you probably need to have a place. But it really depends on what you're doing. But see what you can do without getting something out, because you don't want to get a business loan. In fact, if you look at all these businesses that are failing and things, it's because of loans and debt. Debt is what kills businesses. Debt is what kills people. Toys R Us, they didn't go because Amazon put them out of business. Radio Shack didn't go because they were put out of business. These businesses are closing down because they took on mountains and mountains of debt they couldn't possibly pay off. That's what the problem was. And that's what's going to crash our poor country too. So yeah, Spider Eyes, Psycho AI. Yes, we're going to be getting into our Psycho AI. Brendan, how's it going there? Libre Secure, hello, Paper Bag Man. Greetings, Spider Eyes. Q1 Fiend, waiting for the kitty cam and fighting with a floppy drive. A floppy drive? Are you sadistic? Jonathan Tobin, how's it going there? Greetings, welcome. Mugen, how's it going there? Mitchell, hello, Mitchell. Endiger and Pizza. No, the kitties are not yet flea-free. This one here, CJ, seems to be mostly flea-free. I saw one on him today, and that is it. And I'm not seeing any of the other odd signs of fleas on a kitty on him today. The other one, unfortunately, still has some signs, and that's kind of hilarious to me because I actually put the bigger, beefier flea collar on the other cat. This one's just got the lowest grade flea collar I could get. They were just out of the good ones. So I want the next one down. And he seems pretty flea-free. I think a lot of it is he lets me brush him a whole lot more than the girl cat does. So that's what I think the difference is. So she's going to be itching for a little while longer, I think. But we're getting there. Me and Sad Error are thinking about starting a mobile game company. Good. Actually, I'm a consultant to a startup video game company. Hard to get into, but if you do it right, there's a lot of application you can have for that. Scott, how's it going there? Pizza. Tim, how's it going, Tim? Yes, we got the we got the audio fixed. Oh boy, switched to silence. Some people say I need to shut up a little bit, so I started it without the audio for a little bit. Yep. Greetings, Mark. Greetings, Brendan. Hello, Gray Hasroot. How's it going there? Whoa. My my comments jumped again. Blame it on the cat. Blame it on the cat. Yeah, yeah. Psycho AI is spread to Tom's PC, and the audio is the first victim. Yep. Made Hamas was good. Burp. Second, I thought Pulse audio crashed. No, it was OBS didn't pick up the microphone. Whoops. I forgot. I mean, I usually do a systems check on everything first, and I forgot to do the systems check. ThinkPad would love to upgrade the speakers. I don't think that's the thing. No, not really. Keegan, greetings. Come on, Tom. Everybody knows that nobody ever has had audio problems in Linux. Greetings, Frost Ranger. The Mad Catter. Nice. I ate a picnic for dinner and let my 2-year-old play in the water. Nice. Very good. Let's open the new BBT business checking today. Very nice. Very cool. Uncle used to run an audio shop out of his garage. There you go. Yeah, okay, yeah. Depends on where you are, too. Unfortunately, a lot of cities have jurisdictions against working on cars in your driveway, which is kind of stupid. But, I mean, you understand why, to a degree, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, if I need to get something small and simple worked on, that should be allowable. Doesn't everyone have a floppy drive? Not these days. Main system, Dell still has a floppy drive. Hello, Kitty. I remember those. Hello, Clint. How's it going there? Switch to fleas. I hope not. No, I don't want to switch to fleas. State Farm wanted me to install a tracker that plugs in an OB. No. Yeah, you can track with an OBD2 tracker everything, depending on your car. I actually have a UBT port. UDB2 port plugged into my system because what it allows me to do is send vehicle logs to the smartphone. It's a pretty cool system, actually. So you can do that. But yeah, all of these companies want to do that, and maybe I should have pulled some of those ones in, but very much like it. New phone means dependable battery life and quality pictures or workflow for advertising and marketing. Yes, Andre, how's it going there? Apple charges you to even make people give them viewers and ad revenue. Wow. Games will be on iOS, Android, Windows Phone, and the web. They will be coded in HTML5 imported using PhoneGap. Nice. Very good. All right, we're going to leave my comments right there, and we're going to go ahead and re-roll the intro and jump into the first segment, which is privacy. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It is Friday. It is time for the news. We just have a couple little privacy articles to talk about. So the first one, we're going to be looking at retailers will probably keep selling the insecure kids' smart toys until they're forced to stop. This is kind of an opinion piece about, we have all these smart toys. Of course, Germany banned smart toys from sale and encouraged all their parents to destroy them. Hopefully ritualistically with like psycho-like knives, The kitty's looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? Pretty much, despite all of the warnings coming out and all these toys they're smart connected and they're collecting information on kids and they're not particularly secure. There's a lot of problems with these. And I think one of the challenges, like, my brother has a new little daughter and so I don't know, how old is she now? A little over a year. I think she just had her first birthday here this last couple weeks or so. And the problem is that is that now the grandparents of the younger kids, this generation, is where I see it the most, because I know a lot of people my age are starting to have kids, whatever else, and what you start to see is all the grandparents, and the grandparents seem to hover a whole lot more than they have in the past. And they're very, very much trying to be involved, and they don't necessarily understand the technology, but you walk through Walmart and see all of the packaging on this. Ooh, it's a smart device. You can get the app, and you as grandma can talk to the grandbaby whenever. And that's this interesting marketing ploy, and it's just like, all the sheeple just buying in. And there's actually, I watched the videos Brian Lunduke put out this today or so, and he had the fascinating one about what would it take for you to stop using any Google services at all. Would it take a big data breach, whatever else? And as he's talking about this, Matt Hartley says that it was a fascinating trend where he says that a lot of people, they just don't know, they just don't care, and so they're just going to keep using this stuff no matter what. Like, he says, people are in many ways stupid, and that's the reality. And so your grandparents don't necessarily know the difference. Then you as the parents, you may or may not care as much. But grandparents probably are the ones buying these nice and nifty little toys, and then as they're coming in and doing some of those, then what ends up happening is you have this insecure device that is transmitting your child's data over the internet, possibly stored on some cloud servers, and all of a sudden a hacker gets in there and some guy starts communicating with your child. The last time that type of stuff happened, it was a movie called Child's Play, and it was bad, okay? If adult voices start talking through the toy, just ritualistically kill it now, okay? That's what you need to do. But it turned out that even after all this, Amazon, Target, Walmart, they pulled their lines of smart connected things, the Cloud Pets, not when all the warnings came out. It was when EFF started making a stink about it. It was literally, these guys wrote a letter just a couple of weeks ago, and it was finally in response to that they're starting to pull things off the shelf. So you still might be able to go to those stores and pick these things up. And this is very scary because what we're looking at here is this new range and realm of toys that are perpetually connected to the internet. And realize that anytime you have an internet connection around a child, you are not only giving the child access to the world, you are giving the world access to your child. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. Now, obviously, these things didn't allow a direct internet. It was supposed to be locked in, but these things are not secure. The software is outsourced to the cheapest bidder. The cheapest bidder puts in backdoors. At worst, will put in backdoors. At best, are just sloppy coders. Trust me, I have done a ton of work following behind third world coders. I've done a lot of it. I always tell people, you really only hire the cheap developer once, and then you hire an expensive developer to go in, and it costs more money to fix up the crap that the moron did the first time than it does to do the job right the first time. So this is the way business works. You get this idea, you're riding the cloud on the smart, they're outsourced to the cheapest bidders, they put things together for the cheapest they can, they sell it for as much as they can, they make in all the profit, and then there's security vulnerabilities, and we sit here and go, I just don't understand. And this is why Germany banned these things. And we would probably be best if we did the same. We need to stop and ask this. Of course, my friend Kayla Dahl recorded kids' conversations without parental permission. Germany banned the toy and instructed the parents to destroy it to get rid of the risk. I mean, this is the thing, but the thing is, it shouldn't take a media crap storm to get these companies to do things. But the fact of the matter is that's what it does take, because as long as there's profit to be made, that's the reality. Once media gets involved and start making a stink and think about the children, then something actually starts to happen. So yeah, you can probably still go to your local store and pick up the internet spying, ready access, always accessible to your children's toys. So have fun. Have fun indeed. Of course, Amazon and Microsoft and Uber are teaming up to get rid of this California Privacy Initiative. Everyone wants to get rid of the California Privacy Initiative. Of course, California is putting in this consumer privacy law that basically is like, you know, no data. Okay, let's just read some of this. As data sharing scandals continue to mount, new proposal in California offers potential solution. The California Consumer Privacy Act will require companies to disclose. Guys, it doesn't matter if you disclose the information. Oh, we're going to disclose all the information now. You don't have a choice. Particularly if, like, internet service providers. I have zero choice in who I use for my internet. Zero. Zero choice. Government regulators, are you listening? We have zero choice. I'm in the 4th largest city in my state. We have zero choice in internet. That is called a monopoly. Would you guys do your job or leave office? And the rest of us, vote the morons out until we can get rid of monopolies and oligarchies and corporatocracy. But anyway, the California Consumer Privacy Act would require companies to disclose the type of information they collect, like data used to target ads, and allow the public to opt out of having their information sold. See, that doesn't even go far enough. It doesn't matter if the company is scooping up all the data and I can say, oh, you can't have the data sold. I want there to be a complete reversal. Like, this is the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, here in the country with the constitutional rights. Guys, the constitutional rights does not prevent a business from collecting data on you. It prevents the government from collecting business on you. The constitutional right is against the government and you, not a business and you. Okay, so at this time, we need to make a constitutional law, the constitutional right to privacy, period. Because these companies are collecting way too much data, and I don't care. Like, it's good to have the option to not have the information sold, but it's even better if the information is not collected. Of course, all these guys, Amazon and Microsoft, they were, your privacy is important to us and blah, 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 blah. Guys, if my privacy is so important to you, stop collecting my data. Stop it. Stop collecting my data. Tim, you on here? You awake now? All right. And so this is the thing. So these 3 companies, Amazon, Microsoft, and Uber, they've put $195,000 in contributions. Actually, Amazon and Microsoft $195,000. Uber threw in $50,000. Of course, Facebook, Google, AT&T, and Verizon contribute $200,000 more. They're all just trying to block this kind of stuff. All these big companies, Facebook, oh yeah, Facebook definitely hates this thing. AT&T, Verizon, Google, these guys all hate this law, and this has a lot of overwhelming support, as you can imagine. And the reality of this is that all these big companies, these corporatocratic, oligarchical companies, are putting in a lot of money to overturn this. And the reality is they will probably end up succeeding. I hope they don't, but they will probably end up succeeding. The thing is that this outlines another major issue in our world. This is why we need to have an absolute cap on the amount. First of all, I don't think any company at all should in any way, shape, or form be able to politically contribute to anything. Off the books. Done. An individual, any single individual, should not be allowed to pay any more than a small, reasonable amount. And then we need to have a system in place so that any type of information, we're not running advertising campaigns to get people to do things they don't want to do. All we need to do is bring in people who will do what the nation wants. That's the issue. But this is exactly what's not going on. So these companies are fighting against this initiative. They're probably going to win and be able to overturn this stuff. But this is the reality of our world. This is why I fight so hard to maintain my own privacy. I fight hard to maintain my own privacy. I work hard to make sure that I am not sharing anything with any company that I don't intend to share. And I do that by not overly relying on Google services or Facebook or any other system for that matter. I don't use their email services. I don't use their Drive services. I don't use that kind of stuff. You do it offline, or you do it on your own encrypted stuff, preferably offline. That's the way you want to get stuff done. Of course, on to our cover story for the day. China wants to track citizens' cars with mandatory RFID chips. I gotta say that this is a lot better than GPS tracking systems. What they say here is you cannot grab the specific location of a car at any point in time. The RFIDs are going to identify the cars as they move beyond certain periods and certain places. Okay. So that's what they're looking at doing here. Basically, it will help. They can put up the tracking locations to spot where the car happens to go. They see license plates and RFID chips. They can put them up in certain locations. They're using it to measure traffic locations and terrorists. Okay. This is certainly better if I had to either be a RFID chip or a GPS tracker. You want the RFID. You probably don't want either, and this is probably a slippery slope into GPS. They'll get this in, they'll get it all working, then be like, we're just not getting the data we need. We're not preventing the terrorists as much as we should. And so what ends up happening is they go, well, we got to go with GPS because we tried RFID. It just didn't work, so we got to go with GPS. And that's kind of what's going to happen. So again, they say the system cannot locate any specific car at any moment in time like GPS. But, you know, as many RFID chip stations you can put up, you can do a pretty good job at tracking things, which means you kind of have people's routes and things like that. This isn't too different than the types of systems that California and, is it Washington, I think? Or is it Washington or Oregon? I forget. One of them is doing it as well, where you can get the smart license plate readers now with GPS, and those are GPS, so that they can tax you onto this. And I see these moronic idiots like, ooh, I'm so good, I bought an electric car to save the environment, which, by the way, consumes just as much fossil fuel because you got to power the thing. You're just wasting all of the resources by charging your car before you drive somewhere. I mean, it's like debt, really. And then they're like, but we're not paying our fair share because we're not doing gas. Oh, you're not paying your fair share? Oh, God. Okay, whatever. But they are voluntarily putting GPS trackers in there so they can be taxed even more. This crazy world we're living in. What's your thoughts on this crazy world? Let me know in the comments down below. Oh boy. Did I leave my spot in my comments? There we are. Yep. We're returning the engines in the 90s with an old school Corona satellite. Okay. See my comment about stud or dud? Yes, I did. And I'll look into it if I get a chance. Anyone watching the World Cup? No. I care about sports as much as I care about Barbie dolls on the moon. I don't know. Greetings, Cold War Boy. How's it going there? So creepy. Now they spy on people's kids. Yep. Whatever happened to COPA? Oh, it's still there. It's just you have agreed to the terms and conditions. So take that. And COPA's pretty much, it's on the books for the safety of the children, but it really doesn't mean anything anymore. You're not too late at all. That was the first section. Stop using Google services. Well, I'll not be here. I'd stop using all Google services. I'd get a YouTube alternative. Yeah, the thing is like, you just need to use the things intelligently. Okay, that's the thing. But that means that you're not staying perpetually logged into Google, and you don't have to necessarily be logged into YouTube to use YouTube. Did you know that? I mean, sure, if you want all the notifications and you want all the other stuff, sure, you might need to do that. And to leave comments for certain. But the other thing to do is go in, make it a regular habit of your life every 30 days, once a month. Go in and just delete all your Google history. Unless you have a specific reason to keep it. I refer to it every now and again. But for the most part, just delete it. Just delete all your old history. Best way to go. Oh, see you, kitty. Go on. What? What, you're going to come back now? Sorry for the view there, guys. Kitty, what are you doing? All right, the kitty is confusing me. I'm not sure what the kitty's doing. If he's chilling out or wanting to go. I'm stuck in GPM. Saddle Ridge, greetings. Gave grandkids an old metal fashioned cook set with antique miniature cast iron stove. Very good, very good. Spotify's much better than Google. Dump in, get Spotify, and get your library in order. Highly recommend it. Yep. A friend of mine was setting up a camper. His kids had a riot playing with the kettle and the pans. No heat, of course. Simple things. Yep. Simple things indeed. Might do a tri-daily news roundup video. Cool. There you go. What was the name of the TV communicating with phones? TV communicating with phones. Well, there's TV commercials that the phone microphones can pick up, if that's what you're talking about. I'm not sure otherwise. Twitch has video, yeah. Sometimes upload gameplay footage, but I'll never upload my face. Too hideous. Is that why you're a paper bag, man? You should upload video wearing a paper bag, dude. That's what you should do. Spotify free sucks, though. You no longer have music on demand for mobile. Yep. Oh, there you go. Cool Warboy did it. We think alike. James Hogg 2.0. No comment. Greetings, Anarita. How's it going there? The politics serve the same master as the tech giants do. Yeah. Music app called Treble. You can download music for free. Vote out the rich white man. Which one? I'm so Pepper Bing man. What? Paper bag man? Alright. You should hit this what? No, thank you. Greetings, Tim. How's it going there? I hope you weren't trying to sleep because I woke you up in the middle of all that. Make a video about how I got stuck into the Apple ecosystem because my dad who worked for Crapple. Life is not looking great dealing with some of the health issues. Hey, it's life. All right. Apple's first computer was 666. Yeah, I hope everything's going all right, Anarita. I'm still praying for you. I have it up there on the list to pray. Alright, hence the reason I spend more time on the darknet than the mainnet. Alright. Switch link. You have their YouTube account? Try to track in, spying all the lies and manipulation. I have to say China still, because they have facial recognition everywhere and 100% constant technological AI surveillance absolutely everywhere is creepy. Yes, unfortunately I don't have the time to deal with making my own online services. I trust Google. I use Doc, Slides, Drive, keep it every day. Yep, just make sure you keep the private stuff off. That's the thing, is they want you so used to it that you put your private stuff on there too. And that's the thing that should irk you. Oh. I'm awake. I'm awake. Watching you live keeps me from getting this crap scared out of me. See you, pizza. Pizza. Coach, my thoughts are that I'm not surprised. It'll only get crazier. Yep. Thoughts of this crazy world. Tom is run and make friends with Bigfoot. Yes. Electric cars are just something to get everyone on the grid for more control. Yep. Barbie's on the moon? Well, Tom's more interesting then. That would be more interesting. Leaving Copperhead, giving me lots of issues lately. Yep, sad error, and you will not see any updates on it anymore either. Yay! So you hide your ISP when live streaming. What? Isn't RFID actually getting better than GPS to have multiple identifier information? GPS data will be served more by cars and multimedia services on top. Any of you know Linux commands? Most of us. Why do people worship Apple? Because they are into the religion of iMacintology. Apple makes a fine phone. Maybe a tablet. Beyond that, Macs are useless. Can anyone suggest some good ISO for OnePlus phone? Check Lineage. They probably have something you could use. Longest Linksman. I think 2021. It's either 2021 or 2023. What do you mean about updates? Sad error. Have you not followed the Copperhead news? There was a falling out between the CEO and the main core developer who pretty much did all of the work. They essentially kicked him out of the company, so he deleted all the signing keys. So no updates can be done to a Copperhead phone at this point. They are officially done. And if you check out their website, you'll see that they pulled almost all of the ISOs, and they have locked all of their GitHub pages. So you can no longer build it, you can no longer verify the code, and you can no longer download any of the ISOs except for the Pixel 6P and the Nexus 5X are the only ones you can grab for, and they will not see any more updates at all. So effectively the issue... what are known issues for Lineage? Lineage, they get the Android updates about the time Android gets the updates. Their main issue for me is that they like to do April Fool's jokes in their code, actually putting April Fool's jokes on your phone, so don't update them around March or April. But for the most part, I mean, Lineage is good, and I like that. SaveYourInternet.eu, yes. If you are in the European Union, you want to go to SaveYourInternet.eu and tell your lawmakers how to vote on the 20th, which is very much coming up. Is the headphone jack coming on any iPhones? Probably not. All right, we're going to go ahead and leave the comments there. Jump on over to the next part of the news, which is going to be security. Welcome back to another edition of the news here on Switched to Linux. Well, today we are going to be talking a little bit about some security news. So first up, do you remember this fingerprint accessed lock? I mean, this is the cool new lock where you can go in there and you can lock it with your fingerprint, and then you just need to go in and lock it with your fingerprint and open the bad boy up, and it's so awesome, so secure, and pawnable in less than 45 minutes by any low-range Bluetooth frequency. That's right. Now, of course, one guy actually opened this up simply by putting a GoPro mount to it and separating the lock from itself. And actually that enabled him in not only a few minutes to actually separate the lock enough to actually pull it open. Other people testing the lock attempted that like they did, and they kind of determined that that was probably a defective unit that one guy had. But they're like, hey, let's just go see what else we can do. Of course, AES 128, but they are saying that they've seen a lot of issues with that, so they wanted to poke into this a little bit. So all you end up doing is you just need a Bluetooth receiver in about 45 minutes and an Ubuntu computer. And you can go in here and grab all of this stuff. First thing, the app communicates over HTTP. There's no transport encryption. Seeing all the information, and then you could grab the key information, reverse it back to the lock, 45 minutes, bink, open the lock back up. Yay for security. Guys, a lock and a key. If you want anything fancier than that, use a simple system with a simple keypad entry. Okay, that's what I use on my gun safe. Deet, 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 deet. Open. Boom. Good. All right, and we are set to go. Don't use this kind of crap. I wouldn't use your fingerprint on your house, your door, your storage locker lock, your nothing. Use a lock and a key. Really, is it that hard? Is it so hard to have a key? But we gotta push these things out, and then like, oh, all this, and then the go out and pick these bad boys up, and then they're like, yes, I have this new secure lock, and then you go back to your storage locker the next day and can't figure out why the thing's empty, despite it doesn't look like your lock's been tampered with. Avoid this kind of stuff. It's gimmicky. It's gimmicky. Yeah, Apple, this is actually a fun news about Apple. I like this article. Apple is pushing out a new update in their next update patch. And basically, this is kind of funny because it raises this question. Remember the whole issue that Apple has been having with the FBI? And FBI is trying to use Apple to say, we have to have backdoors so we can get into these types of things. By the way, same thing that Russia's doing. Like Telegram is now banned in Russia because of this. And the reality of it is, the government, FBI, are just using whatever measures they can to attempt to get their back doors in. Well, it turns out that for quite a long time, they've actually had a device that they can utilize with an iPhone to crack it fairly easily. Basically, it uses the USB port. So you plug the device into the USB port and then run the bad boy, and it will actually get in there. So companies marketed their machines to law enforcement in multiple countries this year, offering the machines themselves for $1,000, but also a per phone pricing as low as $50. So if you use one phone, if there's only a few phones they might get in any given month, $50 per phone, not too bad. If you wanted to have more ready access to it, you could just buy them individual machine. They've had these for a while. Now, of course, so Apple's like, all right, you guys want to mess around? So Apple's releasing a new update it's been documented in beta versions of 11.4 and iOS 12. Apple told routers it will be made permanent in a forthcoming general release. Basically what it does is after 10 minutes of time, the phone will no longer do any data transfer via USB. And so effectively, it's going to lock this law enforcement tool out. So Apple is doing their good part to say, no, we're going to secure this even more. You guys want to keep on playing these games with us? We can play these games too. So this is a neat way for Apple to get around some of this. Of course, this might ramp up the discussion to force it. Who knows? Maybe Apple is just being the pawn to suggest that now we just can't get into these things, and so blah blah blah. So I don't know if this is Apple's ploy to collaborate with the FBI quietly to force backdoors in, or if this is a legitimate pull from Apple to say we are going to do a better job of locking out even the ways they can get in. So that's an interesting thing. You can take from that what you want. Now, of course, we've heard about the issues here in the Linux community. We've heard about the issues in the snap packages where somebody had inserted some form of malware code into a snap package, and we think it was mostly for a test to see if it would be pulled off. Well, in this case, this is from Docker. There is one particular account that ended up putting up to 17 different malicious Docker images into the Docker repositories. This caught my eye because guess what? I run Nextcloud with a Calibora install, and to do that, you need to have a separate server running code. And you have to install that via Docker. And so that was kind of interesting to see that what happened is a image showed up in the Docker hub which had some malicious code, and several people actually reported on it, and nobody did anything about it, despite people finding it very quickly, reported on it as being a crypto miner application, but Docker, nobody did anything about it at all. Until the same account ended up getting up to 17 different codes, and over the course of an entire year has mined about $90,000 worth of crypto, for 544.74 Monero were mined out of this thing over the course of about a year, utilizing other servers or whatever else. So if you're using Docker, make sure you've audited the applications you're using. And this is just yet another thing in the container format. This is why I'm not necessarily a huge fan of all these containers. I generally don't use Flatpaks or snaps or anything else on a distro unless it's a last choice. It's like, because it gets to that same simplicity model. Oh, just got to make it easy. Guys, figure out your dependencies and install what you need to install. Now, I understand there's some issues that some applications work with a different version of a dependency than others. I do get that. And that is certainly a challenge. So maybe there is indeed a place for the containers. But don't just look at the containers and think that they're just automatically good, because remember that these are being published by a whole lot of different people, and there may or may not be enough people to understand what is what inside of them. So that is certainly something to keep in mind. Watch out for your images, whether they be Flatpak or Snap or Docker or App Image. All of these types of containers, they are all susceptible to these. And then each new version that comes out, someone else has to audit those. This is why it's probably just better to use the basic installing and deal with your dependencies. I mean, most of our distros manage dependencies fine enough for the average user. I understand that, but and this is shame on Docker for not doing something earlier, despite the number of people that were giving them warnings a while back. So be careful. Be careful with this kind of stuff. Really be careful with this kind of stuff. Do you use these types of package images, snaps, or Flatpaks? Let me know this and comments on the other stories in the comments down below. All right, let's see. Close that out. I need to look something up real quick. I forgot to put something up here.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Okay. Got to get that up. Forgot to pull that page up before I started. All right. Let's see here. What? April's Fool's jokes? Like what? This last year they put a spoof on there that basically gave you a pop-up on your phone that's like, you have a malware mining cryptocurrency on your phone. Stuff like that. A couple years ago, they changed all of your audio to max audio of a goat. Inappropriate crap. Inappropriate. Other than that, though, the system does work well, so I don't have any issues with mine. Less devices and services used, the better, and who through taking walks with the wife is more meaningful. Yeah. This is the reality I'm coming to, is that despite all this technology, our lives are more chaotic than when we didn't have as much tech. So I'm going back to times when I didn't have quite as much of that, because frankly, things were a lot more simple. Friend told me something happened with Copperhead. I checked their blog and saw nothing. Nope. Because their director is kind of wishing it didn't happen. If you check out the what is it? The subreddit, unless it's deleted by now. But if you check out the Copperhead subreddit, you'll see they had a lot of discussion going back and forth there. Actually, I covered it in the live stream yesterday. you just type your gun pin on the screen? What? Most locks. Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Use YubiKey. There you go. You just said gun, demonetized. Oh, I was demonetized when I said terrorist in the last clip. It's all good. Let's see. Yep, I said I'll never get anything smart again. They have too many security issues. Yep. If you want to really secure a safe, just weld it shut. Very true. Your fingerprint gets stolen, well, there's no changing your fingerprint. Mother Russia, everything is possible. I was shaking out a people tree. What happened to downloading deb files and click on it and put in the password and blah. Yep, there you go. First time I used one of those packages was for Kden Live. Yeah, and it didn't work well. I like using app images or anything like that. Get out your Mac computer. There's Arch and Gentoo users that can't use deb files. Yep. Vehicular tracking is old school. What the heck? Why would they do that? Great way to break their users' trust. That's a monitor, kitty. You can't roll into that. Distro choice has always been Mint XFCE. There we go. I do use flat packs, but I prefer using non-flat packs because flat packs sometimes clash with my system theme. Yeah. All right. Linux Mint only gets better with time. All right. Before we jump on anywhere else, tomorrow's live stream, I don't think I'm going to have one in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but I am going to do a special live stream on at 8:30 tomorrow night Eastern time, 8:30 Eastern time on Saturday, and it is going to be a Life in Linux. I'm not sure if Toss is going to be there or not. He may be, he may not be. But I am actually going to be live streaming with TechLore. If you have not checked out TechLore's channel, check him out. TechLore is a expert in, he's an expert in VPNs. One of his big things is that he will go through, evaluate, and test all the different VPNs out there. And in so doing, he will give them points. He will tell you which ones work the best, which ones are a little bit scarier. If you haven't checked out the 14 Eyes Explained, check out that video. That is a really cool video over there. So come on by for the live stream tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. And I will be talking with TechLore on VPNs and things like that. So we'll be doing some communication maybe about building your own. We'll be talking about what are the best ones to use, why do you use them, and also a lot of excellent privacy things. And the one video, let's see if I can find the one video that I actually first saw, what introduced me to the channel. I may not be able to find it right away. But you can see his content's very much like mine, very security focused. There's one of the ones about, might have been this one, Get Off the Grid. I think that might have been the video. So check out his channel and check out the live stream tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern, and we will be communicating with him, and he'll be on there, and it will be a Life in Linux stream. Also, if you're before we get into the last group, you can check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/TomM. If you are wanting to learn how to support the channel, you can also pick up something like a t-shirt, a mouse pad. I have stainless steel water bottles as well at shop.switchtolinux.com. And of course, there's other ways to help support the channel that you can find at switchtolinux.com/support. So have a look at those. And then I think what we're going to do now is take another quick look at the comments, and then we're going to jump into our last topic. And it looks like my camera went a little crazy, so I better fix my screen there a little bit. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right, there we are. That's better. All right. Experiment only gets better with time. Debbie with the tarball getting the hub. Ages like a fine wine. Dude, get out your Mac. What do you mean get out my Mac? I got a Mac down here. I can't get it out right now. I think it's turned on. It might be turned on. I'm not sure if it's turned on or not. Let's see. I'm not going to mess with that. Be at work tomorrow. My apologies. That one's going to stay up so you can catch it later. What I end up doing is switch out of this HTD with one of the desktops so I have Linux on a slower machine. Kitty decided he really wanted to come back up. Greetings, Kitty. Welcome back. The fuzzy snake has returned. Turning 22 next month. Very good. Happy birthday. All right. They're 21, though. It isn't special anymore. How's Twitter handling things ever since the Facebook controversy? I don't know. Me, I'm going to be 41 and going to make a big deal and ask for barbecue with friends. I won't touch Facebook with a 10-foot pole. Present arms. Greetings. Okay. Paper bag man. Do you go to work with a bag on your head? You think we're going to see Origin on Linux someday? I don't know. Always wanted to give a Mac a try, but I would need to put out a loan first. Yeah. 2, my dad has one. I'm jealous. Why? Mac is like such a horrible operating system. It makes me cry every time I have to do something on it. Yeah, Mac is... Yeah. Between a bad UI and unintuitiveness, and for crying out loud... There's a delete key. There's no backspace key. For crying out loud, Apple. And they got the control and the command, which sometimes you use this one, sometimes you use this one, sometimes you use both of them. It makes no sense. For being a computer company, Mac sure really doesn't know what they're doing. I don't know. Anyway. We'll go ahead and leave our comments there. We'll jump on over to our last segment of the day, which is going to be business. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It's time for another edition of the news. Today we're going to be talking about some business news. Of course, in our country, we have this exciting thing called the corporatocracy, where the companies actually make our laws. You thought that it was those people you elected every year? Nah, they don't have anything to do with it. All they do is sit in the middle, sign the papers, and deposit the big old bank checks into their banks. That's about it, you know. That's about it. But anyway, of course, anybody out there at Walmart who might have a job and wanting to keep your job, as measly as it may or may not be, Microsoft is helping Walmart get rid of their cashiers and checkout lanes. Yeah, you heard that right. So basically, Amazon's with Amazon's doing with their Amazon stores, you know, the store they opened up there in Seattle, whatever else, and they're opening another one, I think, in Chicago and in San Francisco. So with them opening up those stores, Microsoft's like, well, we can do the same thing Amazon can do, but of course they don't have any stores. So who are they teaming up with? Well, who else but Wally World? So they're teaming up with Wally World to put in that same type of excessive tracking technology to get rid of cashiers altogether. So yeah. Don't worry though, the robots will not take over all your jobs. Don't worry about it. They're already taking over the job of the cashier. They're taking over the job of the order takers. They're taking over a lot of the stuff. Panera Bread, you walk into there now, they just have the auto ordering kiosks. Of course, there's a lot of different things like that. It's just a lot of challenges there. But anyway, they don't have any immediate plans to roll this stuff off. It's not like this is coming tomorrow. But what they're doing is Microsoft is in communication with Amazon to team up with Walmart in order to put in the same type of tracking systems Amazon has put into those cashierless stores to track people throughout. Now, of course, the Amazon store is quite a bit smaller, so you'd think this would take a ton of overhead. So I'm not sure if they're actually going to pull this off, but it's certainly something they're looking into. And of course, this is the whole thing with Microsoft, their Azure cloud, and apparently their smart cows. So, keep that in mind. So that's kind of exciting. And of course we have, this is, when I find stories like this, and I think that companies like this actually make money because people are dumb enough to buy their technology, I just really want to go off and live in the woods with Bigfoot some more. This is now a Wi-Fi system where you have to subscribe to their service to buy their router to put internet-connected wireless access points throughout your house, and you have to keep on paying a subscription fee to keep your home-based wireless internet going. We have become a nation of morons. I mean, wireless routers are very easy now. They're easy now. I mean, you plug them in, and they're reasonably secure out of the box. Of course, you got to make sure that you change the administrative password, and maybe just read that little quick start manual, do a couple little simple steps, and you're good to go. But basically, this is a thing where you go into each room in the house, you plug in one of these things, and it will connect all together, and you'll pay them a subscription fee, and you'll get extra types of services in. But in a communication, they were trying to figure out what are these extra services, and we can't quite figure it out. So basically, let's see. They're launching a more capable tri-band router called SuperPod. Sounds like something that people who eat Tide Pods use. This is Super Tide Pod, I guess. Normal router called Plume Pod. It's a bit bigger and a lot more expensive. There isn't much special on its own, but most mesh systems offer both dual and tri-band options. At this point, the bigger change is Plume's business model, which completely changing today. Previously, you'd buy a Plume router or several of them, since this is a mesh system, and go on your way as you would with every other router in existence, but not more in any case. Now you have to subscribe to Plume's adaptive Wi-Fi service before you can even buy a router. And once you own Plume routers, you'll want to stay subscribed, or else the routers won't work as they're supposed to. Existing Plume Pod routers will be grandfathered. Plume subscription service will cost $60 per year or $200 for a lifetime membership. One of the most tangible things you get for paying is reduced price on Plume's routers, as well as a warranty for each year that you pay. Lifetime members get a flat 5 years. Plume's current routers come in 3-pack for $179. The subscription, you can get 3-pack. That includes 2 dual-band routers and 1 tri-band for $39, which is a major discount. Still gets pricey if you want to buy more routers, especially tri-band units. But it's still cheaper than buying this kind of router somewhere else. At least it's cheaper at first. Plume is hoping to make up the difference by getting you to pay $60 per year indefinitely in order to keep your routers running well. In addition, the hardware discount, subscribers will also get access to parental controls, security products, speed tests, and active management. Okay, let's stop right there. You know that most routers have some parental protections built in? You can get in there and block sites. Shocking. They have, quote, security products and speed tests and active managements. So this is where this gets good. I kept asking Plume CEO, what is active management? And it's still not clear to me. The company's argument is that nowadays we're attaching more and more devices to our routers, from computers to phones to streaming boxes to speakers to smart home gadgets. Maybe that's part of the problem. And it's going to get really complicated and needs additional work. From somewhere to something to run smoothly. But what is that something, and why does it require subscription? Why can't our routers optimize Wi-Fi on their own, as they always have? There's a degree of truth in Plume's argument. Much of it feels theoretical at this point. Yes, security products are important, but I don't understand what most of this active management actually entails beyond the basic functions of a router. It's not like a Plume employee is going to be sitting around micromanaging my Wi-Fi channels. Plume says its routers will keep working if a subscriber stops paying $60 a year per subscription. But the CEO said the company wouldn't brick routers. Okay, this is hilarious. The company CEO says the company wouldn't just brick routers just because somebody decided not to pay, but will indicate they wouldn't work as well. Hold that thought, because there is an update. After publication, a Plume representative reached out to say the company's routers would not function if a subscriber didn't pay. Unlike what we had been initially told, the article was updated to reflect the new information. In a follow-up call, Diner said the wires got crossed on messaging and that Plume routers would in fact remain functional, albeit without active management. What? Does it work or does it not? We don't know. The CEO insists it does. This employee, who probably knows a lot more, says it doesn't. What's going on? What is active management? Nobody can answer these questions. No, this is called stupid. It's stupid, 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 stupid. If you buy an expensive router and then pay $60 every year for the rest of your life, you're a moron. Just turn it off. Just turn it off. I don't understand. Why are people buying into this imbecility? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Oh, wait, Diner said Plume wants to provide so many additional services as part of its subscription, customers will happily remain subscribed. Quote, our intent, our hope is to make a decision a no-brainer. Yeah, it is a no-brainer. If you use this, you have no brain. If the customer doesn't want to renew, it won't be because of price. They'll be unhappy for us for some other reason. Because they grew a brain. Plume is the only company bringing a subscription model to routers, but it's doing it in a unique way. Arrow for Existence started offering a subscription service that added additional features to its router, primarily additional security features, but its routers still run fine without it. Luma, which maybe doesn't exist anymore, offered a subscription product too, primarily focused on security. It seems inevitable that the subscription service will come to more routers, but we rarely buy new ones, and subscriptions give these companies a way of making money. Plume's approach, which makes it inexpensive to buy hardware, but hard to leave the system, is an interesting one. It's not clear to me. It makes a ton of sense for consumers. If these features are available elsewhere without a subscription, why... I just don't get it. You know, I was looking at, I have a very lovely pfSense router. And one of the funny things BSD doesn't actually manage well is wireless networks, wireless cards. They don't seem to support the full range. Like, they don't support N routing. So it's like ABG or something. I can't get anything more. And so anytime you build a pfSense router, you want to run a separate wireless access point. So I've been looking at a wireless access points, and wouldn't you know that a lot of your wireless access points, you have to have a phone app downloaded from the Google App Store in order to actually use and configure the thing. Well, that's stupidity. I just like, you know what? I just used the old router that I have. I turned off the DHCP server, and I put it on its own subnet, and it is now my wireless access point. Why do I need a wireless access point? Because my apartment was designed by a moron, and they put a whole bunch of central tubes up in the middle, so it is impossible to put one router anywhere in this place to get good signal in the whole place, despite it's a small apartment. So I just run a Cat5 cable with 20 foot of cable and then put that at the other end of the crazy, and now I have full range, good internet everywhere. But yeah, this is why. But there's going to be people to buy it because they're just like, oh, I heard about this new technology. Let's plug it all in and just keep paying the subscription fee. And I don't have to deal with it until you have to deal with it. And then they're going to tell you it's got to do something else to deal with it. It's just, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And so, of course, this is the other one. Euro, they promise not to brick routers if you don't pay a subscription. These guys say, Plume says they won't either, but they won't be worse off. You just don't get active management. Nobody knows what active management is. The CEO can't answer that question. Nobody can answer, nobody knows. But anyway, this one comes out. So Euro is another one. why did two of these companies just come out of the woodwork like this? I've never heard of either of these companies. So Eero is responsible for two major trends to Wi-Fi, mesh networking and subscriptions. But after Plume, another mesh router startup, said earlier this week it's going to start requiring subscriptions just to buy the router and keep it functional. Eero says it doesn't plan to follow suit. We've never had any plans for Eero to do that. Basically, with them, they have a subscription plan for $100 a year, includes services above and beyond the basic functions of a router. Content filtering, malicious site blocking, subscriptions for security products like 1Password and VPN. Guys, PF Sense does all that for free. In fact, any router that you can go to Best Buy and pick up off the shelf for $150 running WRT also does that. Yeah. You can buy routers from Best Buy today that do all of that without paying a subscription fee. Their approach is that of Sonos and Apple. Apple says he sells a premium product and the margin of the product and overall totality of business is enough to support the ongoing platform cost. Eero is designed to be the same way. Its best-selling bundle, 3-pack of routers, sells for $400. Prior to his subscription news, Plume's 3-router bundle for $179 and now sells $39. That's the other one we were talking about. Technology isn't exactly one-to-one, but the price difference speaks to Eero's structure for products. They haven't publicly stated how long it tends to support eVitch routers, but Weaver says, guys, how much do you also want to bet this is a plan for planned obsolescence? Like, routers last a long time. Long time. Now, it might be better if we can get more security updates pushed to them, which is something a consumer should be able to handle, for sure. But I'm wondering, is this another way of planned obsolescence? Are these new companies coming out to develop systems that need to be crashed all over? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder indeed. Well, let's conclude this insanity with absolute insanity. Norman. Yes, from Norman Bates. The world's first psychopath AI. You should just give it its own company. It'll run it very well, I gotta say. So, Norman is an AI developed by MIT with kind of a fascinating goal. They were kind of responding to some of the thoughts that were coming out from like ProPublica, saying that a lot of this AI is kind of racially biased. And the reality is the AI itself is not racially biased. It's what you feed it. We learned this with Tay. Remember Microsoft's Tay? That took less than 2 days for a bunch of people to troll that thing to the point where it became, I think, Hitler's right-hand gal, I guess. As this thing turned itself into a white supremacist Nazi psycho. So maybe Norman is the world's second psychopathic AI. Although the first one that is a psychopath because they intended it to be this way. So the MIT team decided to put together this system to effectively test how all this stuff would work. To test that theory, is it the AI itself or is it what you feed it? So of course they talk about Rorschach. He developed the Rorschach tests to determine a subject's perceptions about ink blots and recorded them. Artificial intelligence, first born in 1956. Minsky, I don't know. Dartmouth College, an explosion of creativity. They plant seeds of what artificial intelligence would eventually become. Of course, 1960, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho comes out. 2015, Black Box Society highlights the dangers of runaway data and the black box algorithm machines and the learning bias caused by source data. That's the key factor here of Norman, is they wanted to demonstrate that it is the source data, not the AI itself, that becomes a problem. And here's the challenge, is that from what do you feed it? Well, Predpol is so racially selective because you feed it a lot of inner city crime statistics, which happen to be among people of color. More statistically, because you get more blue collar crime in that area, you get more white collar crime around around your white guys, which is probably worse crime in many ways, but it's not caught on police patrols as much. And so when you feed all of this information in, mostly from people of color, it becomes an AI that is racist because it assumes people of color are the problem. That's not the case. That's not the problem. Because there's neighborhoods that aren't that colorful that are just as problematic as well. They just don't send as many police patrols there. So there's some human bias going on, for sure. All right. So what's going on here is they developed this system and they created the AI, and then they fed it information from a Reddit page. And they never disclosed exactly what the Reddit page is, but there's some good arguments as to which Reddit page it was. And then what they compared what Norman viewed in an ink blot to what a standard typical AI, typical AI, project whatever that's just analyzing, birds and bears and whatever else. And then Norman, who is fed nothing but bad stuff and bad images. And so Norman, when you look at this first ink blot here, a standard AI says, I see a group of birds sitting on top of a tree branch. And you can actually kind of see a group of birds sitting on top of a tree branch. Norman says, a man is electrocuted and catches to death. Here's the thing, though. As another person commenting on this article very aptly said, all of the things Norman sees seem to be exact verbatim bad headlines. The standard AI seems to do a better job. So I'm wondering what else is going on. This is a close-up of a vase with flowers. Okay. Norman sees a man that is shot dead. Your standard AI here, I kind of see, I see two people and some butterflies. That's what I see. Oh, there's a couple people standing next to each other. Norman sees a man jumps from a floor window. What? Man jumps from floor window. Huh? I don't know. Standard one here sees a black and white photo of a small bird. Norman sees man gets pulled into dough machine. Couple of people sitting next to each other. Pregnant woman falls at a construction story. You see what I mean? Your standard AI is actually constructing sentences, and you can almost see what it sees in the ink blot. Norman seems to be putting together random words, phrases that don't seem to make any sense. There's something goofy with Norman here. It makes me wonder, is there something else going on? What I would like to see, and I don't know if this is the case, but you take two identical AIs, simply feed them different sources, and that's very possibly what exactly they did. But you can kind of see all these. I mean, this is kind of exciting. Take our survey. Let's see what our survey says. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I don't do those. But the overall take-home message of Norman here is that the problem isn't just the AI itself, it's what we feed the AI. And the unfortunate thing about that is we live in a world full of a lot of bad bias, a lot of challenges, a lot of issues. We live in a world where whether our world is in and of itself a horrible place or perceived as such a horrible place, why would it be perceived as such? Well, simply it would be perceived as such a horrible place because bad news is what sells. Bad news sells. And so with a world that pushes so much bad news irrespective of the good news, in that type of world, AI will intrinsically spin negative. That's what the people at MIT were trying to say. And it begs this question: is it good to have AI in our world, knowing that the data we feed it and the data we tend to produce, our culture produces data that would turn AI against us? That's what our culture does, for better or for worse. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right. Wow, where did I get left off here? Okay, I remember some of these comments. I didn't leave a marker, or at least if I did, it got overtaken there. Takes a month to start up and a week to launch Chrome. Yep, self-checkout is taking over my Walmart. Yep, I don't go to those. I prefer Razer laptops over Mac. How do you get an iPhone to work with Ubuntu Studio? There is actually a package to install. I forget the name of it, but if you do a simple internet search, you will find it. And it will basically allow you to connect your phone to any Ubuntu system. Thank you. I will choose a cashier every time. Razer have brought out really nice laptops for those deep pockets. Do you have deep pockets, Kitty? Do you have deep pockets? No? Kitty does not have deep pockets. All right. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to purchase a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM. Bugs in the hardware. All right, Daniel. Cool. Very nice. Okay, phone, iPhone compatible with Linux is garbage. You'll have to use an older version of iTunes with Wine. I don't know if you're talking about Wine, okay, because you don't have to connect your iPhone via iTunes to use it. I've never had a problem connecting my iPhone to Linux Mint or Ubuntu. So you need to make sure you have the package installed and you can access the files on your iPhone. That's what's the important part is. A robot take over my job, which is changing diapers a day, I would be happy. But are you going to be having people get the smart diapers so the app can tell you which child needs changed? There's a thought. Never had any issues with an iPhone on Linux. Oh wait, never had an iPhone. Well, I have, and I have not had any real issues. Dog is sleeping on you. Very cool. Okay, best to use Android. Try using Windows. Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, though, is if you have an iPhone already, and, you know, just got to get it to work. All right. Best option, though, can never figure out how to get the VM to recognize the USB device. Only my host machine will. What you have to do is you have to go down into... first, you have to make sure USB is turned on. Let's walk through that real quick. All right, so when you are in your VirtualBox, the first thing you have to do is make sure USB is activated. So if you go into your settings and USB, you have 1, 2, and 3. Now, sometimes USB 1.1 generally always works. Some machines, USB 2 will not work. You might actually have to install an extra package to make your USB work. In this case, I don't have that package installed, so you see the invalid settings detected at the bottom. You need to go in and install a separate package to get 2.0 or above to work. And there are some Linux distros that if you have this enabled on some versions of VirtualBox, the machine will kind of get stuck in a boot loop. You got to get that resolved. That's kind of what happens there. So first you need to make sure that that is enabled. Let's see if I can remember exactly where the, I think it's under preferences. I'm just trying to remember where the, okay, you'd want to come into here under extensions, add a new extension and download the extensions you need. The extensions are specific to your version of VirtualBox. You need to know that. You need to download the extensions pack, come in here and install the extension pack for getting more USB support. And then what you need to do is when you launch your machine, and what I'm going to do is get out of full screen mode. When you launch your machine, you want to come down here to the toolbar and pull this guy up. Now, right now, it gives me nothing because there's no devices attached. We might have to wait for the operating system to completely start first. Okay, so then what you'd want to do is pull this guy up here. And there's no USB devices attached right now because I don't have any USB devices attached. But if you pull this up, you will see a list of all the USB devices. You need to click that, and it will move from your host operating system into your VM. So that is actually how you install it. Now I gotta get this VM shut down. There we are. Shut down. There we go. So that is how you run USB in your VirtualBox. Will Windows XP work? Check to make sure it's not on the internet, but you can try it. It may not, though. I'm guessing it will probably not. Charge $30 for basic home Wi-Fi setup. There you go. Yep. Wait, Wi-Fi is already a service, though? What's the difference? I don't know. I don't know. These kids. People are lazy, not just computer savvy at all. Thing you have got a license for. I'm sure there's an iPhone application for Linux, though. I see it. It's a subscription for a router only. You still have to pay for internet as well. Yes. Give you excuses to ask for more money with these subscriptions. Yep. Not like Walmart hires enough cashiers, it is. It's one of the big reasons I don't shop there. The lines are too long and most of the lanes are not being used. Yep. Basically, they're offering subscriptions for no more router. Okay, I'm awake. Only old people buy this. Just take a breath and breathe slowly. Never. Anything as a service is crap. I hate how businesses are implementing this as a business model. I don't blame it. Upsets me too. If I got it, if I got the like, got that, my neck. If I got like that, my neck would tense up. Worth watching live stream to see Tom jump up and down and scream. That's right, man. That's right. That's right. I used to do this all the time though, so I've calmed down a lot. I think Tim will attest to that, right? The vein is popping out of your head. My head explodes, you know why. Future, you'll own nothing. Everything will be a service, even your PC hardware. Funny you mention that. That's what NVIDIA tried last year. Yep. Yeah, NVIDIA did a subscription service last year, actually. To take full advantage of some NVIDIA cards, you have to have a subscription service for it. Actually, you might have just had to create an online account for it. I can't remember. It was one of those two. And one, I swear I'm going crazy with all this censorship. I thought I was being censored. Nope. 58 watching, only 11 thumbs up. Huh? I will only buy if I can connect it to my wireless LAN cable. Test, test, test. Keeps getting sad error on my messages on my posts. Really? Huh. I don't know. Why get something for free when you can pay someone far worse? Planned obsolescence is taking over the world. I have two boxers and a Dutch Hound. Very good. I'm 12 weeks old and they are massive. Wow. German Shepherd Lab Mix. Tom, put a whoopee cushion on your chair for when you hop up and down. Imagine the sound effects. Oh boy. Oh boy. AI is biased by the data fed into it, sparking the old rule that a computer is only as good as the data we feed it. Yep. Desktop. Boy. On desktop, people get tired. I'm on bed with my mobile just chilling. There you go. Bothers me they named him Norman. Too close to normal, which he certainly is not. Come on, man. That's becoming very normal. Very normal for these day and age. AI is terrible. It'll take over mankind. Yep. So here I'm monitoring my seriously slow uploads. Never interested in that or Minecraft. Playing Battlefield 5 like snow maps looks kind of cool. Updating my site tomorrow. Cool. Will I do a video on what? PUBG? I don't play video... Well, I don't play many video games. I don't play enough video games to do anything with them. Sometimes I think I'm as good as Dr. Disrespect. Gee, see, I'm already right. Hate being right sometimes. Kept getting error messages. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the chat. Calm down, you? Well, maybe just a little. Haven't whizzed the bed at midnight for at least a month or so. Yeah, you know. All right. Good night, all. Sleep tight. Yeah. Later. All right. A couple folks are heading out, I guess. All right. Well, we'll do a final call for comments. Seeing if Toss is on. I'm not sure Toss is streaming tonight. I don't know. Whoopee cushion on his chair. We wouldn't know the difference between Tom or the cushion. You've seen his cooking channel, right? Yeah, too many beans over there. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do a final call for comments. We're going to get to the most famous part of the show. Because who does not like a good kitty? Yeah? What do you think, huh? Should we call your sister? Should we? Let's see if we can get a double catter over here. All right, we're calling the cat. We're going to see if we can get a double catter in here. Oh, the kitty's like, oh, I see him, I see him. Kitty, kitty. Oh, Houston. Houston, we got a double catter. Houston, it's a double catter. Oh, except I lost my other camera. Oh, just give me a second, buddy. Just give me a second. I lost the other camera. All right. Oh, no. Okay. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I completely lost the other camera. It'll get you there in a second, buddy. Okay, let's see here. There we are. Kitty, kitty. All right, you. No, you over here. Over here. Over here. Over here. Oh boy. Whoa, right over here. Over here. Over here. And kitty, over here. You. Over here. And we'll go one more. Over here, buddy. Oh, over here. Over here. Over here. And you. Are the finger looking good? They are finger looking good, apparently. Nah, it's not tight. His collar's not too tight. It's just he's an excessively fluffy kitty. There's two fingers. He's just excessively fluffy. Yeah? Fluff ball? Yeah. He's like, I was actually expecting them to put up a fight with the collars, but they didn't. They didn't fight the collars at all. Right. Right. Yeah? Here, want to go say hi to people in the cameras? Say hi to people in the cameras. It's my predator cat. He blends in with the background. All right. All right, final comments. Let's see. And use Adobe brackets. We had issues with 18. I don't. Do a video on how to install non-free Debian. I used to know how, but even while researching, can't seem to find the answer anymore. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it's just a line to add in the configuration files, but I can probably pull off something simple like that. That seems like an all right thing to try. Dogs crazy scares me at times. Big Daddy Linux might stream tonight. All right. Sane dog is licking my leg, acting all calm, like she didn't just go berserk on some packaging I didn't need. More cats, the better. Linux and cute kitties. What more could you want? Nothing. Spoke to Doss the other night. He wasn't sure of the schedule for the weekend. He's moonlighting as Dino impersonator at the Dean Martin Festival. All right. Cat needs to work out. No, he's just excessively fluffy, actually. He or she has a brown heart. Yes. He has so much love. He's got a heart on this side, on the outside of him. Actually, he's got one on this side, too. He's got a lot of love. Right? Right, buddy? Right? Just don't sit on the keyboard. You'll like hit a hotkey or something. There you go. So spoiled. You get to sit on the desk. Can I ask us? Let's see. Paw waves. Paw waves. Hey you. Paw waves. Paw waves. Can I ask, is Microsoft Visual Studio Code spying on you? I doubt it, but I don't know. I personally do web design and mostly WordPress stuff. Bluefish Editor on Linux. I use Dreamweaver on the Windows computer that still works. All right, guys. Once again, don't forget, tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming on about 8:30. I don't think I'm going to do one in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm just going to do the one at 8:30. It will be a Life in Linux, and we will be featuring tech lore So bring your questions about VPNs, as he has probably reviewed all of them. And so have a look at that. That's 8:30 Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So come on by for that. I think he's also streaming it on his channel as well. So it'll be a dual streamer. So good evening, everybody. Like the fact that the best friend of most Linux user is their cat. Yep. The famous Linux cats. All right. Good night, James. Good night, Spin Viking. And good night, Penguin Pacific. And everybody else that is still watching. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. And I know I'm going to have a wonderful evening. And I'm going to take most of tomorrow off. It's going to be great. We'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. And don't forget to check out the live stream tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time. So have a good one, and we will catch you later.